apply to what you want to do on Wednesday?
Probably maybe hands down the most skilled offensive player that our game has seen. Maybe go back to maybe DT, the Interossi eras. But yeah, she's got too much. She's too good to try to keep doing the same thing over and over to her. She's seen it all. There's nothing she hasn't seen. And what's great is she's got this supporting cast around her that allows her to be who she is. And then they step up and make plays when they need to.
That was one question coming in with them, was they lost Monica, and how would they replace her? And it feels like they've done that and maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a different kind of attack on the offensive end. Obviously, Stolke is more rim runs, offensive rebounds. They throw it into her in the post, but not nearly as much as they did with Monica last year. But if 22 is on the court, if she's on your team, you got to feel really good about your chances.
Coach, talking about the history of what this building has done, especially with Purdue women's basketball, the team that ended Tennessee's 42-game winning streak, and just knowing that this building has seen big games before. How have you been mentally preparing your team just for the environment that is to come tomorrow? Obviously we talked about it a little bit, but we've had some really good crowds here. Obviously not a packed house this year, but everybody but our young kids have played in that environment. I think they were here last year during the IU game. They were all here and witnessed it from the stands. I think Caitlin talked to them about get out early, see the crowd. That way you don't, whatever, have a moment, or I can't say what Caitlin told some of those kids, but that's why those kids came here, to kind of help get us back and to play in big games. Obviously Clark is a incredible draw for our game, and no matter where they go, they probably have really, really good crowds. But I think it's a testament to how much in the state of Indiana and in this city we love basketball. I mean, the state of women's basketball compared to when you played, seeing all this fanfare. I mean, what does it say about just the evolution that we've seen over the past plus 2 decades?
Yeah, well, I think not just her. It's been there's been a lot of people who have helped elevate our game. I think she's probably at the forefront of all of it, and rightfully so. Like I said, she's probably the most skilled offensive player that we've seen or witnessed maybe in a really long time. I don't know that we'll see someone better. I think you asked me last summer. I hope she took her. I said I hope she takes her COVID year because she's just great for her game. But I'm ready for her to get the hell out of here as well. But no, she's just been so great for our game. And when you talk to her off the court, she's a really, really good young woman.
This is the opportunity for your team that this presents itself now.
Yeah.
You're still early in the Big Ten season, but what can this potentially do for you guys?
Yeah, well, nothing changes, right? It's a home game, and we've got to try to find a way to protect our court, no matter who we're playing against. Obviously, it's the challenge and the task is a little bit more difficult because of our opponent, but our goal remains the same: to stay undefeated at home. We can't do that if we don't win tomorrow night. For us, it's early in the season in the Big Ten League, but making sure you win your home games, it's got to be priority number one.
Coach, you have a slew of freshmen that are, playing tomorrow. What do you think is the biggest, maybe the most common mistake, freshmen make when they get into a game like this, where there's so much on the line and there's just, so much, surrounding?
Yeah, I think honestly, if this is, the biggest game that they've played, then we haven't done a good enough job of making sure that they know that every single play that we've played so far matters. I think obviously it's going to hit them. They're, we'll have some deer in headlights, but that's why we went to UCLA. That's why we went to Notre Dame. It's why we played Texas A&M early in the season here. If our non-conference schedule would have been, games that, against teams with, a net of 200 or 300, then they haven't been prepared for this moment. And so they're playing a good team, and what is Iowa, 14-1, number 3 in the country. It's our home floor. We got to do our job and go protect it.
Coach, oh, go ahead.
So coming off the Maryland trip, not really a game, just kind of a quick out, quick back. Has there kind of been a mentality shift like with the team? Because obviously you guys were riding a high right off from like a big win at home against Rutgers. Go to Maryland, don't play, come back. Now you're faced with Clark. What's that mentality kind of been like throughout this whole entire process?
Yeah, just a really good bonding trip for us. Fly out to the DC area, had a couple meals together, did some dancing on the court, came back. We were able to take a day off and then flip the switch to Iowa, and then we'll flip back. The way our schedule laid out, having a bye weekend, it kind of allowed us to kind of refocus, move your attention to Iowa, and then after the game tonight, we'll be able to take Thursday off and then refocus. So I reshift our focus back to Maryland.
Now, if Kaylin was under the NBA rules, she probably wouldn't be still around.
Yeah.
You played in the league, obviously. What do you think about those rules? There's been some conversation about them.
I think if you can play, you can play. Obviously the league on the women's side, the financial gain isn't as good as what it is on the NBA side. I think obviously we've taken massive steps to help grow the league and the WNBA, and I think Kaylin going to the next level, Aaliyah Boston, all these players, these young, really good young players who are in the league right now are just going to keep taking and elevating that league.
Yeah.
For me, I would have, it wouldn't have mattered. I wasn't Caitlin Clark's level, but it wouldn't have mattered. I wanted to make sure I'd stay for 4 years and play college basketball as long as I could. Caitlin, get out of here.
Yeah.
This is it.
Coach, having an assistant like Kelly Camara, who was part of that team that knocked off Tennessee, ended their 42-game winning streak, how invaluable has it to have, Kelly as part of your staff? And what's something different that she brings to coaching that maybe you don't have that she has?
I just think that experience, playing at those games, playing in front of a packed house, beating Tennessee that year, having the 99 team back this year has allowed her to really be able to share more memories with us. Her and I talked yesterday about the tunnel walk when you walk out and you see the whole crowd, and normally she waits and walks it with me, but I hope she walks it by herself tomorrow, because it's a moment she was a part of that program that really, or that era that really started to elevate our program, and I hope she takes a moment to kind of soak it in.
Now, what are you most looking forward to in tomorrow's matchup?
An opportunity to play basketball, to play a really, really good team against a generational player, and an opportunity to coach against one of the greats in our game. For us, it's we lace them up the same way they do. We'll go out there, and I don't expect anything less than us competing our tails off for 40 minutes.
Last time Caitlin Clark was here, she scored 24 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. That was your first year head coaching. What do you remember from that game?
So 2 years ago, I remember Madison picking up a couple fouls early in the game. Telling the referee, that's my best player too, protect her too. I do remember that. I remember they did not shoot the ball well from the perimeter. I don't even know that they hit a 3 that game. And then I remember Monica Cesano scoring about 30-something points, just rim running us to death. And then I remember that we lost.
Will Madison be guarding Clark once again?
I think by committee. I think it's you gotta give her different looks. You gotta keep people fresh on her. Whether it's Mads or JT or Abby or Rashonda or Jayla. I think it's just gonna have to be by committee. You gotta make her play in a crowd. What's so special and unique about her game is when you do make her play in a crowd, she's an elite passer, and her group around her does a really good job of stepping up and making plays. So good luck to us, right?
Yeah.